What's up, zoners? This is one Tate Tyler, the Turd Burglar Ward, and Jason, the Lucky Bastard Youth Wolf, coming at you live from the West Coast. And this is the Fantasy Red Zone. Today, man, we've got questions. Vegas has answers. A lot of these people are on my squad, man. So players that, I'm on the fence about even starting, I'm looking to Vegas, man, to see what kind of production we can get out of them. So we're going to equate Vegas overs and unders to fantasy points, see if they're worth starting. But before we get into all of that, Jason, we need help, man. Hey, shout out to Richie James. I'm pretty sure that was his name. $10 super thanks. Oh my God, dude. That's more money than I've almost ever made. And I'm like, anyways, thank you so much, Rich. Appreciate you, dude. But we need help, Jason. Just look at us, man. I'm in a garage, for God's sakes.
Yeah.
I was like, kidding. Tell the public how they can help this show.
Okay. Yeah. If you made it through the 5-minute nickname Tyler has now, please smash the like. If you're new to the channel, subscribe, please. It pushes out to more computers and people's homes and all that good stuff. We're also on the radio if you want to follow us on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. We also got a thank you button. Richie Rich knows all about that if you're feeling friendly. Appreciate you guys. Back to you, Tyler.
All right, Jason. The only news that we were looking at was Garrett Wilson's probably headed to IR. And if you're like me, dude, everybody's trying to trade me Jake Ferguson for Garrett Wilson this afternoon. And I said, no. I saw the news break too. So do not try to trade for Garrett Wilson anytime soon.
Would you try to, would you hold on to him? Is he a stash?
Dude.
When he comes back, it would be like week 11, 12, 13.
Well, I mean, if you think about the players who are the IR players right now that we're looking at, like Joe Burrow is probably the number one IR player. But yeah, I mean, I would. All the players that Jalen Coker and all the other people in that world, Bucky Irving still. But anyways, yeah, I would keep him in my IR unless I've got like a Bucky Irving or something like that, or Joe Burrow. All right, Jason, I am sharing the first question. All right, and I own this dude. I don't know if I should start him or Jake Ferguson. I'm kind of looking to Vegas to see if they can answer this question for me. Because Dalton Schultz, man, has been getting peppered with targets. So will Dalton Schultz pull a Markelle Fultz, or will he continue to be a main ball handler for the Texans versus the Titans? He was questionable, but he practiced today, Thursday. Over and under for receptions, man, at 4.5. He's had 6+ receptions, 8+ targets in 3 of the last 4 games. Davis Mills has played what, dude, in 1.5 of those games. So that does not make me scared. Jason, the over and under for receiving yards is 45.5. 53+ receiving yards in 4 of the 5 last games, man. So I'm taking the over on receptions. I'm taking the over on the yards. Over and under longest reception at 16.5. He's beaten that each of the last 5 games. Each one, man. He's 5 for 5, beating that 16.5. So I'm taking the over on everything Dalton Schultz so far. And then I think he caught his first touchdown last week of the season from Davis Mills, man. So that's something to look out for. His anytime touchdown odds, Jason, are at +300. So Vegas is like, hey, fuck you, man. No touchdowns for you. Houston allows the 4th fewest fantasy points to tight ends at 7.0 per game. But I was going through. I was like, man, what tight ends have they faced? Nobody's. They have Evan Ingram, maybe, dude, and he had like 3 targets, no receptions. The last time they faced a good tight end was George Kittle. He had 4 receptions for 43 yards and a touchdown. So I know Houston's scary because of points against, but go back and look at who they went against. Nobody's, man. And the last time they did, they got a touchdown scored on them, man. So over and under the game point totals at 37.5. I hate that, man. We're looking for 47.5 plus. This is 10 points below that. So a super low scoring game with Tennessee, and Tennessee's getting 5.5 points. So, hey, Jason, the Texans might just come up. Vegas thinks they're going to be leading by almost a touchdown. So they might just run the hell out of the ball. That is the problem here. But hey, maybe 5 receptions, maybe 50 yards. That's a 10-point floor with no touchdowns. So we're looking at 8 to 10 fantasy points with no touchdowns. Jason, would you start that over Jake Ferguson, 8 to 10 points?
I don't know. I might be on the other end here. First off, last time you're talking about Tennessee's defense against tight ends, not Houston, right?
Dear God, I looked up Houston.
Okay, well, just real quick, Tennessee, Dude, Trayvon Henderson, another touchdown.
Are you kidding me?
Got another goal line touchdown.
Today is a great day, except for I mixed up Houston with Houston. Oh my God.
Well, Tennessee, they're ranked 22nd in tight end scoring, so it's not much better than Houston.
There's nobody throws the ball against them.
Yeah, that's one thing because you could run against Tennessee. I do know the first game that Schultz kind of blew up in, there was no one else playing. And then last week they were trailing and basically had to abandon the run. So that is what I'm kind of afraid of. I don't think there's going to be a game script with this where they're going to have to like play catch up. So it does make me a little bit nervous on the over and unders for Schultz.
Time Houston went, man. I looked up the Houston stats. Oh my God. I saw Houston. Houston was on my brain. But hey, Dalton Schultz, though, 8 to 10 points. I probably will keep on starting him over Jake Ferguson, Jason. Because Ferguson's been a turdison for the last couple of weeks.
Dude, this could be bad for Drake May if Henderson's going to start getting all these touchdowns.
This is going to be amazing for me. Jason, who did I name the fantasy MVP? Henderson.
Right. Would he be the MVP or like...
He's going to be on the most teams.
VP.
He's going to be on the also the teams that like he might win people. I don't know, dude. He's going to be the highest scoring running back in the final 10 weeks or no, 5 weeks, 8 weeks. But he's also going to be the most common player on the teams that miss playoffs.
Yeah, that's the crazy thing. So what is that? It's probably not the most valuable player, but he's a valuable player.
Jason, this is hilarious. Jason's question coming up, and I know he didn't mess up. Are the Texans getting a Woody or a Chubb in their lineup versus the Texans? It's funny how your first bullet point is Woody.
Yeah.
Woody would or Woody not. So, all right, Jason. You want me to go through it?
Oh, you want me to go? Okay, so yeah, the rushing yards over and under. It's at 61.5, so that's a total of like 6 points for PPR. Rushing attempts over and under 14.5. It's I think that's a little bit higher than his average. I think his average is like 13. Anytime touchdown score plus 110. That means he's likely going to score a touchdown, right, Tyler?
No, I mean, it's like a 30% chance or something like that.
Well, what do you know what the average
is? Go in
is?
the negatives, then it's more. It's a greater than 50% chance.
Well, I do know that when it's in the negatives. But also reception yards over and under. They said he got him at 18.5. So if he got that, that's an additional point. Receptions over and under 2.5. That's 2 points. So they're saying he's capable of getting 15 points with a touchdown this week. But I want to know, what about Chubb? Chubb is still there. Chubb is the reason why I took an L on this earlier in the season. His rushing yards, though, for over and under are 32.5. That's only 3 points. Anytime touchdown score, that's plus 190. And then the longest rush, 10.5. They don't even have him like get in a reception in this game. So if he even gets a touchdown, he's still going to score under 10 points according to Vegas. This is a pretty sweet matchup. I still think the Titans have given up the most rushing touchdowns to running backs. Looks like the Texans are going to have a Woody.
So 61.5, Jason, is his over and under on rushing yards.
Yep.
He's gotten that. He's gotten 62 yards and 63 yards in two of the last 3 games. So it's like Vegas is really walking the line here because the game where he only got 27 yards was versus Denver. And now he's going against Tennessee. Last time he went against Tennessee, he had 17 carries for 69 yards and a touchdown. So like each of the last like 3 games versus he's gotten some work against he's gotten 63 yards. That's a very fine. I don't like the yardage, Jason, because that's like his average against decent teams. It's like 62 yards. Rushing attempts 14.5. I mean, he got 14 last week. He's only surpassed that one other time. I think that was when Pollard was injured. That was versus Tennessee. What do you think, Jason, about what's your favorite bet on this one?
Well, Tennessee, they're giving up 135 yards, rushing yards to running backs. And he's projected to get half of that. If he's getting the 14 touches, that's my whole thing, dude. We had this earlier in the year where he had a breakout game and everyone was like, let's start this guy next week. Another great matchup. And then he was put back on the shelf, and Nick Chubb was the dude. And it's like, bro, this is why I wanted this to be a Vegas question. I was like, who does Vegas think is going to be the RB1 heading into this great matchup? And it sounds like they're going to say, Woody. I will take the attempts. Dude, man, I think I would even take the rushing yard. Oh, my gosh. Okay. I hate that Nick Chubb is there. But I can see him, if he's getting 14.5 attempts, I can see him getting over 61 rushing yards.
So I'm going by, the last 3 games. Tennessee's allowed the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5th most rushing yards of the last 3 games at 157. I think the one I would take, Jason, is probably the over on rushing yards. The rushing attempt scares me, but the yards, everything else there, that's what I would do. I don't feel good about any of the Woody Mark of the Woody. Yeah, I don't feel good about any of the Woody Marks bets though. That's for sure. Because receptions 2.5, man. So you need 3 receptions. He's had 3+ targets in each of the pretty much every game. I don't like that either, Jason. Only 2 receptions and then 0 receptions over the last 2 games.
What about touchdown?
What'd you say?
What about touchdown?
Plus 300. I wouldn't mess around with that either. I wouldn't be surprised if Chubb had 2 rushing touchdowns for 10 yards. 10 yards this game. So
yeah, that sucks.
Yeah, so I don't really like any of these, but if I had to pick one, I would go rushing yards over, and you said Woody is getting 8 to 10 points, and then with the possibility of a touchdown, right?
Yeah, and I believe this guy's going to be on my running back matchup this week, and it's too good of a matchup, so I had to see what Vegas thinks too, so I could kind of drop that knowledge in there in that video as well.
I would imagine I'm probably going to be ranking him as an RB2 this week. All right, Jason. I've been paying attention to Bijan, man. Everybody's talking shit about Bijan Robinson, so I had to go check it out. And I was like, oh my God, dude. Can Bijan get more than 46 rushing yards versus the Panthers, or will he face a defense with all the answers? Over and under rushing attempts, 15.5. He's only averaging 13 rushing attempts per game over the last 4 weeks. I think he had one of those was 9 rushing attempts. Over and under rushing yards is at 74.5. He did have 84 last week, but 46 rushing yards or fewer in each of the previous 3 games. So that's why people are tripping out about Bijan Robinson. I've just been seeing his fantasy points and been like, hell yeah, dude. I see the highlights, in between some of the games I get on my fucking free TV shit. I shouldn't be cussing so much, sorry. But what was I saying? I was talking about that. Jason, what was I saying? Do you remember what I was saying?
You were talking about the Panthers.
I didn't realize how bad he's been doing, man. 46 rushing yards in 3 of the last 4. So that's what I'm concerned with. I just kind of want to know what Vegas thinks about his rushing totals. So, yeah, 74.5 yards when 3 out of the last 4 was bad. And he's going against Carolina. Carolina gives up the 18th most fantasy points to running backs. But the important thing was here, though, Jason, over the last 3 games, they've given up the 4th most rushing yards at 157 yards per game. So I think that's what Vegas is looking at. They're looking at the matchup, and they're looking at the opportunities. I mean, he's getting, maybe 13 rushing attempts, but against this defense that's allowing the 4th most rushing yards. So that's why his over and under so high there, even though it's been 46 or more. So I do think he's going to get more than 46 rushing yards. That's what Vegas is telling me. And I do agree with that. And then, I forgot to write down over and under receptions. I bet you it's at 4.5. But he's had 6+ receptions in 4 of the last 6 games. Damn it, dude. I should have that up. Rushing and receiving yards, Jason, at 115, 50+ receiving yards in 4 of the last 6. So if you're looking at that, I like the over on 115 rushing and receiving more than anything on this. I would take the over on rushing attempts, and then the anytime touchdown, Jason. I would actually, I don't know if I would take this bet or not. He's had 0 touchdowns in each of the last 3 games, man, and now he still is getting negative 135 odds. So a greater than 50% chance to score a touchdown. I would bet that he does not score a touchdown and try to clean up some money, man. Carolina, over and under game point totals at 41.5. Again, that's a shitty game, low scoring, with Carolina getting 3.5 points. So it should be a close game. He should keep his rushing attempts though, Jason. I'm just not sure about, Vegas thinks he's going to score a touchdown. I think it's a 30% chance or 25% chance against a touchdown. And I like the over on rushing and receiving yards at 115.
Dude, that's crazy to think that he has not rushed well in the last 3 games. I feel like he's getting 20 points every game. Well, yeah, Tyler Algier. Algier, he's getting the goal line work. I think he got all the goal line work against the Colts last week. That sucks.
Yeah.
I don't know if I would bet for a touchdown either.
I know. Sorry, I'm trying to look up. I can't even find him right now. I was like, dude, I just want to see his receptions. I'm sure it's got to be like a 3.5 or 4.5, but I'll find it later. All right, Jason. So you're starting Bijan anyways. I was just curious, man, if Vegas thinks that he's going to break out of this 46 or fewer yards rushing total, because I've heard a lot of shit about him on Reddit. So now I understand why. I looked into it, and it looks like it will be rectified this week. Panthers have been terrible against the run the last 3 games.
Atlanta has one of like the bottom 5 offensive lines in yards before contact too. Not good.
Right. Okay. All right, Jason. This was your baby. All right. You said this guy was, I think he's your fantasy MVP.
Yeah.
Well, he's going to get his chance. He's going to get that Travion Henderson chance. Everybody's injured. There's nobody left. He's the last man standing.
Yeah, but the matchup isn't great. But his rushing yards over and under 54.5. That equals a 5 points. Rushing attempts 13.5. We just saw Woody Marks rushing attempts was 14. Anytime touchdown score 120. So they're saying that he has a better chance of scoring a touchdown than Woody Marks. And this is what I really wanted to see, the reception yards, because there's a good chance that Broncos might have to abandon the run and go to the passing game. But he's involved in the passing game. But they're saying he's only going to get 16.5 yards, the over and under. That's only 1 point. Oh, true. I got to scroll down. And then what was the last thing? Oh, and his receptions over and under is 2.5. I can see him getting more than that. So just from those stats, they're saying 14 points with a touchdown. Sure, right? I mean, I can see it happening. I saw this guy on Twitter. He went through everybody's floor, medium, and ceiling, and for rookie running backs this week. And RJ Harvey had a floor of 10, a medium of 14, and a ceiling of 23 points. And like I can see all those outcomes because if they get to the goal line, which Broncos are known to do, like RJ Harvey is likely going to be that goal line back.
Right. I like the 2.5 receptions. I like the over on the 2.5 receptions. I mean, if he gets 3 receptions, I would. Yeah. I know Beatty. I think Beatty is the pass catcher there. I think he's been getting like 3 targets a game, regardless of who was there. So that does bother me. But still, I would like RJ Harvey catching some passes. Rushing attempts at 13.5. That's interesting. I'm like, what kind of workload was J.K. Dobbins getting? I think it was probably around. He wasn't getting a ton of work, so it probably was around that.
I think it was actually a little bit higher.
I think it was probably like 15 to 17 a game, something like that. Anytime touchdown score, though, plus 120. So, yeah. I mean, RJ Harvey in your flex, I think, would be a smash flex this week, Jason.
Yeah, that's where I have him at, too. He's going to be my flex. I have to start him. J.K. Dobbins is averaging 15.3 carries a game.
Okay. So they're looking at it,
maybe
maybe
higher, but
2 fewer rushing attempts, maybe. I feel like it's been lower as of late. And then Jason, it was earlier when I was talking about Bijan Robinson, it was at 4.5 receptions. I was right.
Sweet.
Also, I told you to pick up Matt Collins. I'm starting him in our dynasty league. I just picked him up before the game. He's killing it already.
Yeah, good matchup.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. So RJ Harvey is Vegas thinks that he's going to have a decent game, man, and has a pretty good chance to score a touchdown. It's not greater than 50%, but hey, not bad there. And he's going to still catch passes. So yeah, if he gets a touchdown, he's going to get you high teens probably. If he doesn't, his floor is probably going to be around 10 points in full PPR.
Right.
Jason. Next question. Vegas. Hey man, AJ Brown. People are trying to trade me AJ Brown too. Do you listen to AJ Brown and get rid of him? Or do you dig in and start his ass versus Detroit, Jason? Over and under receptions. 4.5. He has 5+ receptions in 2 of the last 4 games. That's a coin flip, man. Only 9 targets over the last 2 games, but 8+ targets every week for 5 weeks before that, Jason. So he was going from 8+ targets a week to, only 9 total targets, so 4.5 per game. So that dropped off tremendously. And I feel like every time he bitches, he gets a ton of targets. So he's bitched a lot this last week, Jason. The over and under for receiving yards is at 61.5. He surpassed 61.5 receiving yards in only 3 of 8 games played this year. But 2 of those games have been over the last 3 weeks. So no targets, but he has surpassed that 61.5 yards, and he's bitching a ton. So I'm kind of liking the over on the receiving yards. Over and under longest receptions at 23.5. He's only had receptions of 24 plus, so he's only surpassed that in 3 of 8 games this year. Anytime touchdown, still at 140. I think he had 2 touchdowns like 2 weeks ago, or versus the Vikings. Touchdowns in 2 of the 8 games played this year. So he does have that 1-2 touchdown game. I think he scored a touchdown early in the year, but this guy does not score touchdowns for the most part, Jason, and Vegas still gives him pretty good odds, like, 30, high 20%, 30% to score a touchdown. Detroit allowing the 8th most fantasy points to wide receivers at 29.0. So it is a good matchup. The over and under game point totals at 46.5. So that's okay. With Detroit getting 2.5 points, so it should be close. AJ Brown, Jason. So they're not going to run the shit out of the ball, because they're going to have to throw the ball to keep up with Detroit. But I don't know, man. Over and under reception. So he's got 5+ in the 2 of the last 4. I do think he'll go over on the receptions, over on the yards. I do not think he will score a touchdown. So we're looking at maybe 5 points from receptions, 7 points. Say he gets 70 yards, 75 or something like that. We're looking at 12 points as a floor with a touchdown potential. So I would put him, I'm going to rank him probably as a low-end wide receiver 2 this week versus Detroit because, I don't know, man. This is like a playoff game. AJ Brown does well. Yeah. Jalen Hurts always kind of plays well in these kind of games as well. So I'm just kind of reading the room and all the bitching.
And all the bitching?
Dude, it happens all the time. It happens like every time with him.
Yep. I can actually see him having a good game this week just because of the matchup. And because they're going to have to score points because the Lions are going to score points. Well, shoot, it is outside in Philadelphia. We know Jared Goff.
Philadelphia.
He plays better at home, right? They're in Philadelphia. Oh, it's the afternoon. Oh, and it's the Sunday night game. Oh, dude, that kind of has me concerns for the Detroit Lions.
Yeah, I know, because I just traded for Amon-Ra St. Brown. He's going against Cooper DeJean and not in a dome. But regardless, I still think that Jalen Hurts is going to play really well. Like in these spots, standalone spots against really good teams, I feel like he always performs well. It's like the other games he doesn't.
I feel like because of what he said that he's going to get targeted a lot. The only thing is he's going to get targeted a lot. Doesn't mean he's going to get the receptions or the touchdowns.
I know. But hey, man, 5+ receptions in 2 of the last 4, and it's been terrible. So I'm like, eh.
So you do the receptions, but you won't do the yards.
I'm doing the yards, over on the yards.
Okay.
But he's only done that 3 of the 8 games. But versus Detroit, I just think they're going to need the yards, man. So that's what I'm thinking there, Jason. So AJ Brown, I would start him this week, and I usually talk all kinds of shit about him. So it's going to be super forced, but you got to take it when you can, Jason.
Yep.
All right, third question. In a tough matchup versus Seattle, will Puka go Nacua? And he was on my wide receiver quarterback matchup show. He has one of the worst matchups, I think, versus Witherspoon this week.
Oh, really? The plot thickens. Yeah, I mean, his reception, it's crazy. Freaking Puka, man. His receptions over and under is 7.5. I'll take that. Reception, and 7 points. Reception yards over and under 88.5. I love that. 8 points. Anytime touchdown score 130. That's another 6 points. They put the longest reception yards that they think he's going to have is going to be 26.5. But if this is all correct and Vegas is right, he gets 21 points with a touchdown. And I'm okay with that. He's on my team. I mean, this is a bad week for me anyway. I wish he could just they could pump the brakes a little bit. But the one thing I was thinking was Devontae Adams. I haven't really paid attention to him this week. Is he practicing? I know he kind of
injured. And then when I was listening to sports radio today, they were talking about him. Oh, is he playing? And then there was a report saying, yeah, he's going to be playing this week. I haven't checked more than that. It was just what I heard on sports radio.
Because I was actually surprised to see that his yards were as high as they were because of the tough matchup. I was like, well, maybe because Devontae Adams isn't there, but I like this. And you know what? I could do the over on all of them because I really don't think anybody can stop Puka.
Well,
I think it's.
Well, Jason, I mean, look at his last 3 games, man. It's like versus Baltimore, you'd think he'd go nuclear. It was that's when he got injured, right? I can't remember.
That's when that's when he
went nuclear.
Dubbed his toe so hard he sprained his ankle. Yeah.
Then the last 2 games, that's like the only game he did not score a touchdown in the last 5 games. But then he was good. He went against New Orleans, only 8 targets, 95 yards and a touchdown. But I thought I would think he'd get 10 plus targets. Then at San Francisco, which is always a tough matchup, 6 targets for 64 yards and a touchdown. So yeah, you know what? Now that I go through that in my head, because I was like, oh, the last 2 games have been, probably down for him as far as targets by far, but it's San Francisco, and then New Orleans was his first game back from injury. So now that I talk it out, you're right, Jason. I'd probably take the over on every single one of these things. So reception 7.5. Yeah. Receiving yards 88.5.
Yeah. If he's not going to get the touchdown at the goal lines, we know that it's either going to Devontae Adams or Devontae Adams. He will have to score from a little bit, outside probably the 10, which he is capable of doing. He's got like 6 touchdowns on the year?
I'm just thinking, yeah, he's at negative 130 for it. So greater than 50% chance to score a touchdown because he scored a touchdown in each one of his 5 last games that he's completed. All right.
You can't stop. The only way you can stop Nacua is if he gets injured, and he's definitely injury prone.
So he's going to have more receptions than he did than he has since he's been back from injury. This is going to have to be his best game back since the injury. But Devontae Adams is battling an injury, so he should get more targets. I bet you it's double-digit targets, Jason. I wouldn't like the receptions. Yep. Receptions hard because he has to get 8 of them. I do like the over on yards, and I'd take the over on yards. That'd be my strongest bet there.
Yeah, every time this dude gets tackled, man, I feel like I have to sacrifice a lamb just to make sure he gets back up. It's scary, dude.
All right. Hey, all right. Here's my last question. I had to throw this together real fast, but hey, he's in my flex right now, and I don't know if I should start him because AJ Terrell and these Falcons, man, lock down number 1 wide receivers. It's insane. Michael Pittman Jr. had 2 targets last week, 3 targets versus this. Over and under receptions for, can you start King Tet versus AJ Terrell and the Falcons, or will he make you regret that bet? Over and under receptions, Jason, at 4.5. So 5 plus receptions and only 2 of the last 5 games. He has fallen off tremendously. I mean, his target share is still great, but the targets are just not there, man. They're running the ball with Rico Dowdle way more. Over and under receiving yards is at 54.5. He does have 55 plus receiving yards, so he surpassed that in 2 of the last 4 games. So that's a coin flip. I would take the under on that, no fucking problem, man. I'd be under, King. I'd be coming from the land down under, Jason. AJ Terrell is going to be locking that down. Even though AJ Terrell is supposed to be on Xavier Legette, but he's going to see a lot of King Tet as well. Over and under longest receptions at 20.5. Dude, take the under on that. Reception of 21 plus yards and only 1 of the last 5 games. Anytime touchdown, Vegas says, no way, dude, you ain't scoring a touchdown. He has TDs in 1 game out of the 10 this season. So he's played 10 games. He had that 1-2 touchdown game with like 30 yards. And that was it. No more touchdowns. Atlanta allowing the 7th fewest fantasy points to wide receivers at 23.1. The over and under sucks at 41.5 with Carolina getting 3.5 points. So, Jason, I would take the under on receptions, the under on receiving yards, the under on longest reception, and that's about it, man. I would literally bet all 3 of those, and I would bet $20 a piece, man, and I'd probably hit on every single one of those.
Yeah, I don't know if you said this on your show or not, but AJ Terrell, when I looked for our trade targets, I looked him up, and his fantasy points given up per route run is like 0.10.
Yeah,
like one of the best.
That's the same as his target rate, or I think he's at 9% now, but opposing defense or offenses are only targeting him like 9% of the time, which is the lowest.
Yeah, we've seen Pittman over the past like 6 games just dominate, and then when he went up against Terrell, you said it, he got like, I think like 3 targets, 2 points.
Yeah, so I mean, we're looking at 4 points on receptions, maybe if he gets 4 receptions, 50, so 9 points is your floor. Maybe if he gets that 50 yards, I think he's going to get like 30 and then no touchdowns. So are you going to start him? Do you want, man, he might get you 5 points, dude, maybe less in your flex. I got to think about this, Jason. I'm thinking about starting Darius Slayton with Jameis Winston, but I'm not 100% sure.
Damn, that would be crazy.
Well, I'm also starting the defense against Jameis Winston.
Oh my god, yeah.
So I don't know what I'm doing, man, but I need to win every week. I'm living week to week.
All
right. So, hey, King Tet is probably going to be in the low 30s, ranking in the 30s because of his matchup this week. All right, Jason, last question. Can Davis support his family in week 11 versus the Titans, or will he have to go back to the sugar mills? That's some carcinogenic shit right there, man. It's like you see that in the movie. It's like blood diamonds, man.
Yeah, I was thinking Zoolander. We had to go work in the...
I was thinking of that stupid The Rock movie. Oh, yeah.
The Rundown?
I got the black... No. Black Adam was the beginning of it. It's like, oh, there was a great hero amongst us, and they're all like in the mind.
Well, hopefully he doesn't have to go to the sugar mills, okay? His pass attempts over and under is 33.5. That's actually higher than I expected. Passing yards over and under is 214.5. That's 8 points. Anytime touchdown score, he's plus 1,400. Passing touchdowns over and under is 1.5. That's if he gets a passing touchdown, that's 4 points. And Jesus, okay, Drake May just almost threw an interception. 2 passing touchdowns at plus 135. Interceptions over and under 0.5. Longest rush. So I guess we're not really expecting this guy to get a lot of rushing yards. I thought maybe he is a little bit of a scrambler, but I couldn't find any rushing attempts over and under. But his longest rush is going to be 6.5 yards. That's nothing. You don't get any points for that. So if he's getting 1 touchdown, no interceptions, with 214 passing yards, that's 12 points. 12 total points. But I can also see that happening. And it's because of what the run game can do to the Tennessee Titans.
Right.
Like, you don't really hear like people like going crazy on the Titans through, air raid is because you can run on them. And they're not really good of a team. The Titans don't put up a lot of points. I think they're only averaging like 13 points this season per game. So,
and Davis Mills, Jason, was a top 10 quarterback fantasy-wise last week. He had a rushing touchdown. 20 yards, too.
Yep. I think that was a touchdown to actually win them the game.
It says he's 6'4", but if he had an average person's neck, he'd probably be about 6 foot tall.
Yeah, I think his neck is like 6 foot.
Puts it was like Mike Glennon or something from the past, man. So yeah, 45 pass attempts, man, versus Jacksonville. Nobody wants their quarterback throwing 45 times, but that's pretty interesting.
You had to do it, man. They were down 17-0. They had to claw their way back.
And I talked about this before last game. I was like, hey, I like Davis Mills. I remember he was like actually a pretty good quarterback, and then he had like just one super jacked up season. But from Stanford, he's still only 27 years old, man. So like he's one of the better backups in the league. And now they're going against Tennessee. So I don't like the pass attempts though at 30, Jason. Like I would like to know like pass attempts allowed. Yeah, like, you know what I'm saying? Like pass attempts allowed per NFL pass attempts allowed or something like that.
By the Titans?
Yeah, because I was like, I feel like that nobody throws the ball a ton on them.
Right.
Because when you're looking
out of 9 games, they've had 265 pass attempts.
I have the information. Oh, shit. Pittsburgh allows the most. Seattle allows the most. That's kind of crazy. Who are we looking at? Who did I want to know? Tennessee Titans.
Tennessee Titans.
Tennessee allows the 8th fewest pass attempts at 29.4.
Yep, right under 30.
Yeah, and over the last 3 weeks is at 28. So, yeah. God, it's at 33.5. I'd probably take the under on that. Passing yards, I'd probably go over. I'd see some bigger. I'd probably go. Shit, dude, this is a tough one, Jason. Tough one. Because would you go passing attempts? What do you like? Would you go over? I mean, he threw for 45 times, 30 times versus Denver, but against Tennessee, who doesn't score the ball, and Houston's defense is playing really well.
Yeah, this is not going to be the same game as last week. I don't see him throwing over 30 attempts or even 200 yards. I do see a passing touchdown because of the weapons that he have.
So we're going. I like that. I'd go under on both those, dude. That's fine with me. Like I like the pass attempts under the most. Passing yards, I mean, there could be some big plays, but play it safe, man. And yeah, I'd go under there. And then he had 2 touchdowns last week and a rushing touchdown. So he put himself in the score like 3 different times like that. Longest rush, 6.5. Yeah. So what do you think about him as a starter, though, Jason? I forgot what you said because
I think it's scary. I don't think I'm going to do it.
Okay.
I mean, technically, he's only really had one good quarter, and it was in the fourth quarter against the Jags where they scored like 25 points.
Because I had to choose between him and Mac Jones. Who would you rather have?
I think I'm going with Mac Jones. They face the Cardinals, right?
Yeah. And I know it's a divisional game, and I just don't like doing those because usually it's kind of, especially that division, it's always like tough games. But I think he's got like 15 plus fantasy points every week, whereas Davis, I could see, 12 points as a floor. That's with the TD, so shit. Yeah, I mean, I think Davis's floor is just lower. So, hey, can Davis support his family? That fool needs to go back to the sugar mills, man. Meet up with The Rock. Stop cheering.
He's going back to the mill. I got the black lung, Pop.
What did you think about that? What do you think about that movie, Jason, Black Adam? Did you like it?
I did until they just made it way too crazy. Like they caught him, right? They caught Mr. Adam, and then they put him in like some sort of prison. And then 30 minutes later, they're like, "We need him out here to help us."
Yeah, that's true.
So they go back to him and be like, "Hey, man, we just locked you up. Like, can you come back out here and help us again?" Like, I didn't like that. I'm like, bro, what are they doing here? This storyline is jacked up.
Because I remember, like, your magic is weak, and he's like looking at a bullet, and I was like, this is badass.
Yeah, there's some things I did like about it, but I think the story that they wrote for it could have been 10 times better.
Yeah. Damn it, dude. I was just going to be like, go out and watch this movie, but I can't remember what it was. Anyways, hey, if you got any questions down below, just ask them. We will get to them. Maybe use some Vegas stats in the answering. Jason? Hopefully we earned a thumbs up. Hopefully we earned a subscription, man. That's exactly what the show needs. Please, man, just help us out. We're on our knees in the street lights. Begging on a corner. Jason, I don't know how all that works together, but we're doing it. Hey, please send us out.
I did some panhandling the other day. I was on the corner and I was just like, subscribe to Fantasy Red Zone.
Hey, we'd make more money doing that than doing this show. Dude, even with the $10 bonus we got today.
Yeah. Okay, watch this video. Then after, make sure to join our live episode that's coming out Friday at 6 o'clock. Join us. Have a few brewskis, talk shop. We go over our rankings and answer the people's questions, the people of Gotham. I'll talk to you in that video. Deuces.
This is the Fantasy Red Zone. We appreciate you.